Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, Tasmanians have been warned to prepare for a spike in COVID cases when schools return this week. New modelling shows the system will experience significant pressure if 20% of students and staff are affected.
Packed and ready to go, families are eagerly collecting their rapid antigen tests ahead of a new school year. But Tasmania's testing regime has come under fire, some questioning why students won't be tested twice a week.
We don't understand why Tasmania would be adopting a different position to other states.
Public Health says its strategy is based on the state's level of transmission.
To make sure that children who are at a very low risk of serious outcomes but get the best educational outcomes is for that testing to occur on the basis of symptoms.
56.5% of 5 to 11-year-olds have had their first jab in time for school.
We have just under 20,000 5 to 11-year-olds still without a first dose. Many that are booked in, but many that I encourage to come forward and get that first dose of vaccination.
After weeks on vacation in France, the Education Minister is expected to make a return on Thursday. The Premier again forced to defend Sarah Courtenay over the timing of her leave.
We've had an acting minister in place and parents can have confidence that the plan has been developed and implemented and that our schools are ready to go.
Public Health says Tasmanians should expect to see a spike in COVID cases after schools return on Wednesday, and today the state government confirmed a 20% absence rate of staff and students would have a significant impact on the system.
There are schools around our state without adequate teachers now before we even start the school year.
95% of staff have provided evidence of full vaccination ahead of a mandate coming into effect tomorrow. The Education Department also confirming 69 staff, including 48 retired teachers, have committed to return to work if required. Tasmania recorded 443 new infections overnight. One person remains in ICU. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
Meanwhile, new parents across the state will once again be able to fully access a newborn health program. The Health Department confirming via social media the Child Health and Parenting Service resumed today. It was scaled back early last week to allow staff to be redeployed for Tasmania's COVID response. An initial priority will be placed on allowing babies to receive their 6-month assessment. A coroner has determined the care of a 77-year-old woman received at the Launceston General Hospital on Christmas Day 2020 was not of an acceptable standard. Helen Mary Badcock presented to the hospital with aortic dissection, however was misdiagnosed and discharged. A day later, she passed away in her home in Deloraine. Coroner Simon Cooper wrote in his report, LGH staff missed an opportunity to diagnose blood pressure differences, which were the underlying cause for her presentation. The Environment Protection Authority says there's little evidence of diesel and oil from the ship crash which saw 2 tugboats sink in the Mersey River on January 28. However, the authority expects traces of the waste to be present in waters for some weeks.
The salvage crews at the moment are decanting the oil and the diesel from the tugs, and they're doing it. They've got boom and containment, so we hope there's not going to be any further loss.
The EPA says a warning not to eat fish taken from the river will remain in place for the foreseeable future. The state's public schools are back in session, and it's not just students who are awaiting their first day. A number of new teachers will stand at the front of the classroom as some new programs help to channel more young people into the career.
School is back this week at Ulverston Secondary College, and these new teachers are ready for term to start.
I think it's just going to be great because you're going to be starting right from the beginning, seeing your teacher, building their classroom, building their relationships.
Samantha Cocker is part of the Teacher Intern Placement Program, which gives a taste of the workforce to those in the final year of their degree. It's one of several programs helping teachers into school early, like Teach for Australia.
I've got a school mentor here that will help me in my classrooms. I've got a teaching and leadership advisor that TFA allocates to me who lives in the area and is able to come and watch my classes. And I've also got an academic mentor that helps me through my masters over the next 2 years.
I think you can always look for new innovations, and it's a program that I think it shows that people are really committed to teaching.
The school will also benefit from 2 young coasters returning to the area after recently graduating.
It's pretty cool. I've always been passionate about staying on the northwest, and we had a teacher at uni who was passionate about that too.
We're both teaching PE and outdoor ed, and we're both pretty passionate in that space, getting outdoors.
Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
As more Tasmanian families prepare for the return to class this week, parents are being reminded to make road safety a top priority. The RACT says while the risk of an accident is getting lower due to speed limits and education programs, there are still hidden dangers lurking in school zones. Parents urge to set a good example and ensure they don't pass on any bad habits.
It's a real opportunity for parents to educate their children on road safety, how to cross the road, when to cross the road, the instructions they need to listen to for the road crossing patrol officers.
Drivers are also reminded to be extra alert when passing near schools. The Bob Brown Foundation is warning the future of Tasmania's masked owl could come under further threat, calling for an urgent halt to roadworks and drilling in the Tycana forest.
So little is known about this owl, but if it's anything like wedge-tail eagles, it'll be the end of the place as a breeding site.
Minister Guy Barnett approved a lease for MMG to access the region last week. Well, today marks 55 years since one of Tasmania's worst natural disasters. The Black Tuesday bushfires ripped through parts of southern Tasmania, destroying thousands of buildings and also claiming more than 60 lives. 2 Hobart councils marked the occasion today by unveiling upgrades to vital trails that could be the difference in the next major blaze.
It's a day seared into the memory of Tasmanians. On February 7, 1967, more than 100 separate fire fronts tore across southern Tasmania. The fires encroaching on Hobart, leaving a trail of destruction. 62 people died, more than 900 were injured, while thousands of homes, cars and buildings went up in smoke.
So the city of Hobart is one of the most bushfire-prone cities in the world, so we have to be on top of this all of the time.
Yeah, that was a very, very difficult and tragic period, and especially that day for Tasmania.
With climate change increasingly impacting conditions, Hobart residents are being warned it's only a matter of time before we face a similar event.
It's 55 years, it's been a long time, but it would only take the right sort of conditions to line up again.
Hobart and Glenorchy councils using the anniversary to unveil an upgrade to a crucial piece of firefighting infrastructure. The Big Bend Trail connecting Kunyani Mount Wellington to Glenorchy, now offering more reliable access.
Links into the East-West Trail, which means that there's access through to the Huon Valley, the Derwent Valley.
The $250,000 upgrade was identified after the 2019 Tom Thumb bushfire. Water runoff has been improved, while the trail has been widened and flattened, allowing vehicles better access.
It's important that we can access the bushland on trails that are up to standard for our firefighting vehicles.
Time is of the essence during a major event.
The sooner we can get the fire and emergency services vehicles up here, the sooner that we can deal with any issues that might happen in this area.
Residents also urged to use today's anniversary to ensure they have a plan.
The main message on the 55th anniversary of the 1967 bushfires is for people not to be complacent.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
A trip to King or Flinders Islands could be on the to-do list for more travellers after it was announced regular passenger flights from Hobart will operate until the end of the year. A trial of the Sharp Airlines service was first introduced in September 2020 and due to end next month. The government says flights to the Bass Strait Islands have been a roaring success. A support package is also being finalised to kickstart tourism on King Island following last month's COVID outbreak.
Good evening everyone. A mostly sunny day across the state today, apart from a few showers about the east. 27 in Launceston, Hobart 23 and 22 in both Devonport and Burnie. The high today 29 recorded at Scotts Peak, Ouse 27, 25 at Grove, Strawn, the Friendly Beaches and King Island all 23, Lowhead 22, 21 on Flinders Island, also at St Helens, Lyweenie and Maria Island. We can see cloud about the east today with patchy cloud about the north with mostly clear skies elsewhere. A frontal cloud band is seen moving over southeast WA while cloud rotates around an associated low in the south. Scattered convective cloud lies over the northwest and east of the country. Tomorrow the high remains to the southeast of Tasmania, maintaining a ridge over the east of Australia. A low and associated cold front lies over and south of the Bight with a trough extending to northwest WA, while another lies over and south of the mainland. East to northeasterly winds 10 to 20 knots, reaching 20 to 30 knots in the northwest and south, but variable 10 to 15 knots in the central west. Seas mostly 1 to 2 metres. And there is a strong wind warning for the far northwest. A mostly cloudy day in Hobart tomorrow 23, cloudy at Adventure Bay 21 and 25 and partly cloudy for Tarraleah. Partly cloudy in Launceston 27, also in Devonport 22 there and a cloudy day 22 at Bridport. Partly cloudy across the west 22 in Burnie, Strawn 25 and 23 for Marrawar. A shower or two tomorrow at St Helens and Swansea 21 and Whitemarker cloudy 23 degrees. The UV is 10 tomorrow, which is very high, with sunset at 8:27 p.m. On Wednesday, showers developing about the west in the morning, extending to southern and central areas in the afternoon, then contracting to the west and far south later in the evening, mainly fine elsewhere. Thursday, showers about the west and far south, easing during the afternoon, with showers about the northeast, fine elsewhere. And Friday is looking fine, apart from possible showers about the north in the morning and evening. And on the Big Island tomorrow, mostly sunny in Perth, Brisbane and Alice Springs, showers for Canberra, Adelaide, Sydney and Darwin. Right now in Hobart it's sunny and 21, Launceston partly cloudy 23, Devonport sunny and 20.